let's be real, most of the people bragging about AI agencies and AI ads have never actually built a campaign in their lives. My name's Fraser, I'm the co-founder of Fraggell, and we produce ads for 7, 8 and 9-figure D2C brands. And I'm here today to tell you something that no one else is going to tell you about AI in advertising. You've seen the claims. In fact, you might have even seen one in an ad before this video claiming that they made millions with this AI ad creative and that they automate everything with one simple AI tool. But behind all of the noise, most of them don't even realize how advertising actually works and the strategy that goes into creating any kind of converting creative. Because being a marketer is more than just throwing a prompt into ChatGPT. No serious brand is going out of their way to find an AI-only ad creative agency. And if you end up getting on a call with one of these AI experts, it ends up being a kid which is trying to make a quick buck by using Claude and some kind of AI image generation tool. Look, AI is great and it can help you dramatically increase the scale and volume of your ads. But my point here is that without strategy, everything else is completely empty. So if you want to make actual ads that convert, then you need to hit subscribe and let's get into the video. Today, every single ad that we make at Fraggell starts with an actual person. There's no prompt, there's no AI automation tool, just a person, normally our creative strategist, beginning the work. Call me old-fashioned, but a lot of the time, great ideas just come from people being creative. I often say one of the hardest parts of my job is getting creative people to work on a timeline, because by its nature, creativity is not something that you can pressure people to do. And I think that's where the appeal of AI in ad creative and advertising in general is, because it is something that you can have done very quickly. You can ask AI to do something and it will spit out something in a matter of seconds. So what has actually changed at Fraggell? Like I said, AI is incredibly useful. We do use it at Fraggell, and I'll go through exactly how we use it and where we use it later in the video. AI hasn't replaced anything that we do. It's changed the way that we do things, but that's a good thing. The effort, the decisions, they all still take time. Right now, you can type out a prompt and you can get a set of ad creative scripts in a matter of seconds. But can you actually tell if that creative is any good? Do you remember when ChatGPT first launched and everyone was like using it for everything? In particular, when ChatGPT launched their newest image gen model, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing a ChatGPT image. And then suddenly, all the content, all the visuals, the internet looked the same. You could instantly tell when a script or a visual came from AI. And so people started to hide the use of AI because they realized that a lot of the time people don't like AI and it feels kind of empty. And that's the difference there, is that the way that we make things has changed, but the foundation, that's relatively stayed the same. Because you need to understand what stops people scrolling, what emotions make people buy to actually make a converting creative. Because at the end of the day, your audience are humans. They're not robots. People don't want generic, fake looking ads and scripts and people. They want to hear from people just like them, humans. When a brand comes to work with us, I could very easily generate them a set of ad creative using AI in a matter of days. But it's not very personal. Instead, we work with them to craft stuff that reflects their brand and makes their customer click. But listen, you cannot ignore AI. There's a couple of things, in fact, that AI is incredibly good for and that we use pretty much every single day at Fraggell. For example, a couple of years ago, when we'd start working with a client, we'd have to conduct creative research. We'd have to do it on the product, the brand, and the customer. And whenever we did that, it took a lot of time. It could even take 1 or 2 days to find the research that you needed to make the creatives that you wanted. But now with AI, it is so incredibly simple. You can go to Google Gemini, you can type in the niche that you want to research or even the product that you want to research, and you can get incredible deep research in minutes. You can then feed that research directly into an LLM, pair it with your brand context as well as some user reviews, and you can basically ask that LLM anything you want and it will give you a relatively reliable answer. It's made sifting through a ton of information like 10 times easier. And a lot of the time it finds stuff that a human would miss. Another thing we've also found it incredibly useful for is when a brand gives us an export of their reviews, there could be like 20,000 reviews in there. We can put that into an LLM and we can ask it questions to mine those reviews. 3 years ago, this wasn't possible. You couldn't do that. That wasn't something you had to do. You had to manually go through reviews. I remember at one point pressing Command F and searching for keywords in a review sheet just to find what I wanted. And now I can ask Claude to do it and it will give me fantastic, accurate results in seconds. AI images, they are so incredible for making basically anything possible. If you want a gorilla holding some soap for a static, well, guess what? You can do it. You don't even have to hire a gorilla. And yes, there is an argument here that I could have got a gorilla hand and gone and taken a photo of me holding a soap. Yes, okay, fine. I could have, but it probably wouldn't look as good and as realistic as AI has made it in 5 minutes. I haven't actually made a YouTube video on image generation using things like Sora. If you do want that, leave it down below in the comments and request it, and I'm sure I'll get round to it. It is ridiculous how far AI video has come. We all remember the Will Smith eating spaghetti video, right? Well, just look at what you can generate now. This is Will Smith eating spaghetti. And AI UGC with softwares like ArcAds, you can get incredibly good results that allow you to test stuff very quickly. And then of course you've got AI workflows like the stuff that Motion have built in, where you can very quickly compare creative, you can get the AI to watch the ad as well. In fact, we have a couple of workflows ourselves at Fraggell where we can give it the video, give it the results, and then we can let it analyze the video for us and explain why the video got the results it did. This is mind-blowing stuff that speeds up our work tenfold because AI is our assistant. It's not our strategist. And you kind of have to treat it like that. You have to treat it like an intern. You have to make sure you explain everything to get the right results. If I need 20 new hook ideas, then AI can get me there very quickly. In fact, it can probably at this stage get me 50, 60, maybe even 70% of the way there. But to turn that hook into a scaling creative, it needs a human touch. That's just how it works. For example, you remember a second ago when I mentioned about putting some soap in a gorilla's hand? That is exactly what we did. So one of our clients, the Black Stuff, has this bundle called the Silverback and Crack bundle. Very clever, I know. And what is a silverback? It's a gorilla. So I went ahead and I generated an image of the Black Stuff soap being held by a silverback gorilla. And we added that into a static. Without AI, we wouldn't be able to do that half as quick and half as well as we actually did. They haven't launched that ad right now as we speak, but I just have a sneaky suspicion that it's going to do really well. That ad didn't come out of AI. AI assisted it instead because AI is your assistant, not your decision maker. It was me, it was my brain that came up with that. And then I just paired it with something that AI helped me get. Listen, like I said, there's a lot of places in the agency where AI is helping us. But then again, there's a lot which AI, in my opinion, can't replace. One of them is casting and producing. We have two incredible producers here at Fraggell, and they work across all of the brands and they help cast, they help make the project happen, and without them, our clients wouldn't get the videos. Do they use AI? Not one bit. And like I mentioned before about how far video generation has come, it's insane. I can type in pretty much anything and it will give me a great result. But just the other day, I wanted a video of an ocean made of noodles with chopsticks as boats and eggs floating like islands. What you think would be pretty simple for an AI to generate. And this was the result. What even is that? Sometimes it takes so long to get great results with image and video gen and even LLMs that it's not even worth trying. Just give up and go and do it yourself. Because a lot of the time, AI doesn't understand psychology. It doesn't feel emotion. It doesn't understand the sense of urgency, and it doesn't have the creative mind that you have. When I was mentioning that noodles idea, you could probably picture in your head what you wanted it to look like. And AI can't do that. Instead, you have to write an incredibly detailed prompt that basically takes exactly what's in your head and puts it down on paper. And that's really hard to do. AI works with rules. If it doesn't know that it can break a rule, then it won't do. If it doesn't know when it should pause a frame so it can feel emotion, it won't do. These are all things that a human needs to do. And I'm sure there will come a time, don't get me wrong, where AI can do all these things. But right now, it can't. And that's where good advertisers and good brands will get a leg up on everyone else, because while they're all still fanning about trying to generate a completely AI ad, your competitor is already miles ahead because they've been doing it the traditional way. AI doesn't know your customer, you do. AI doesn't know what worked last month on the Monday but you do. AI doesn't know when you should pivot or you should keep pushing harder, but you do. There's been a ton of case studies that I can think of where an ad has just been absolutely dreadful and AI would probably turn that ad off, but then we had faith in it. We had faith in the metrics. We kept it on and it became a winner because AI works by averages, right? If this ad is doing bad compared to the average, it's going to turn it off, but you might know something the AI doesn't. Listen, AI hasn't replaced the creative world. It's just made it easier and also made it clearer for people who know how to do it. At Fraggell, we use AI every single day, but we're using it paired up with a human. And that's why while you're busy training an AI, we're able to expand our studio space and start making even cooler things. That said, if you're a brand spending over $70,000 on ad creative and you need some help from an agency that really cares and doesn't just spit out AI garbage, then I would absolutely love to have a conversation with you. Book a call with the QR code on the screen or with the link in the description. And until next time, please do subscribe, hit like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.